who had Jen's work goes back on their deal of keeping her remote until October on their bingo card this year. I did, actually. It's happening a little sooner than I thought. Of course, they went back on their word. They had told me that I was okay until October of this coming year. Excuse me, of 2024. But they lied. So it's been a hot minute since I uploaded a video, and the reason has been I've just been so incredibly stressed out and frazzled, and I have a little bit of hiccups now. Just incredibly stressed out and frazzled and whatnot that I haven't done anything other than really apply for jobs. I've applied for 22 jobs since January. I've received one reply, and that was, "You're not qualified to do the job that you've been doing for a bunch of years, but, you know, not good enough for us." And that wasn't even a very nice rejection either. It was pretty shitty. So I won't be applying for that company ever again. But at least they did reply. I haven't heard back about any of the other ones. So this is common. This is very common. But it's something I've never experienced before. I've never in my career, or I will say I've never in my entire life, because even in high school, I've never had to apply for more than 5 jobs before I've gotten one. So this is really weird to me to be like putting this much work out. Like, and I spend about 2.5 hours preparing a resume and a cover letter for each job because I really customize it to look, you know, to show what they're looking for. And at this point, it feels like a numbers game, and I feel like I'm wasting my time. So I think I'm just going to chat GPT a pile of shit out and get it over with. But anyways, I was called back into the office to meet my 2 new teammates because, you know, when we fire somebody for restructuring, we really mean we're just going to replace you with people that we like better or whatever. So the person that got fired on January 3rd was told that he was being restructured. I was also told that they were doing structure changes and that impacted him. They didn't do restructuring. They just hired 2 people, is all. So one at an intermediate skill level and one at an entry level skill level. So I don't know if they took his salary and split it between 2 people, but more than likely they just said goodbye. I think it comes down to the fact that the manager she's very new as a manager. This is her first management position, and but I digress. Anyway, and if they ever see this, they'll know exactly who I'm talking about, which is bad. But, you know, the 4 of you that watch this, just don't tell anybody at my work and we'll be fine. Anyway, so I've been looking for a job and it's not been going that great. And I honestly feel like work understands this and they know that I'm not going to be able to find something else. And therefore, you know, they're going to continue to abuse the fact that I need a job to do things like force me to sleep in my car. I posted a video November 27th of last year where I was concerned and I was talking about, you know, am I going to have to sleep in my car to keep my job? And the answer to that is yes. Because this spring sometime, they're going to require me to come into the office 3 days a week. If I'm lucky, they'll be in a row, but I don't think I'll be so lucky. And each time I drive to the office, it costs me $100 and in gas and wear and tear on my vehicle. And it also costs me 7 hours of my day driving. Even though it's only supposed to be 200 kilometers or so, it always takes 3.5 hours to drive there because I'm driving into a major metropolitan area with a huge amount of traffic. And yeah, so it's not very fun. And I did almost get in a car accident on the way home the last time I had to go to the office. I was driving back. It was just raining, but it was around 1 degree Celsius. Water freezes at 0 for people that are not on, like, you know, the metric system like you should be. So just American people. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. It was about 1 + 1, and it would go down to 0. But the water was just water raining down. I got close to an area of the highway that I know is accident prone and bad for weather. There's a clearing in the trees on each side of the road, and the wind usually like just blows through there and makes the temperature on that area like cooler. So I had felt the back of my car kind of like twitch, and I was like, okay, we're gonna slow down because we're approaching this. I slow down on the highway and I put my hazards on. And then as I get closer to like go up a little further, I see the transports in front of me start doing this. And then I look in my rearview mirror and they're doing this behind me too. And mind you, it's dark, so I can see headlights and the little yellow lights they have on the back of their trucks. The car that's in front of me in this lane goes off into the middle. The car in front of me, immediately in front of me, goes off into the barrier on this side. And my car does a 180, but I end up facing the proper way on the highway. And I managed to take the next exit to get out. I was absolutely terrified. It is the very first time I have ever spun my car on a highway. I wasn't even going that fast, but I'll tell you, watching the transport start to slowly lose control, the whole thing happened in slow motion. And that just really, really drove home the fact that I cannot commute to Toronto to keep a job. I'm going to have to in the short term until I can find something else. I'm not going to have a choice. And they won't tell me exactly when they're going to pull me back in, but I figure it's around April because they refuse to book anything with me past March. So, yeah, they don't want to do this project without me, but they're going to have to if I play my cards right, because I'm just going to leave. They don't care about me. They don't care about my safety. They don't care about my well-being, both mentally and physically. They just want what's in my brain and don't want to pay me for it and don't want to recognize me for it. So yeah, I'm also feeling pretty bad actually about my career identity. And I'm thinking it's probably time for me to leave tech entirely. I don't really know where to pivot to. Being in the smaller city that I'm in, I lose the ability to work in person or hybrid with companies that are based in Toronto. And that's where most of the tech is going to be. It's going to be in major cities like Toronto and Ottawa here in Ontario. And both of those are hours long commutes. And so I can't do hybrid work there. And most companies now have decided that they're pulling back all their remote workers after 4 years. So yeah. So as much as people are like, oh, there's lots of remote jobs, there's not really that many. Most of them are hybrid. They'll say remote, but then if you go down a little further, you'll see that they're hybrid because, you know, landlords need to make their office money, I guess, or something. And a lot of businesses have signed leases, year-long leases for buildings. And a lot of managers just don't know how to manage without people, you know, seeing people at their desks. I would say that COVID has proven that 1, people can work effectively from home. 2, managers, mid-level managers are not needed. So I don't need a mid-level manager personally. And I'm not saying that in, you know, to be all cocky or anything like that. I actually don't. I find that my manager gets in the way more than anything. They're not supportive. They cause extra problems by not understanding what's happening in the business. They don't understand the nuances of everything that's going on. They just don't. Like they literally cause so much rework. Anyway, racing outside. Anyway, so my job search has been so far unfruitful. And I'm thinking of pivoting away from tech entirely. I just don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what jobs I'm capable of doing that are outside of IT. If you have suggestions, feel free to leave some. I did post on Threads about what do I pivot to, and a lot of people gave me suggestions that are still in tech, but it does give me a bigger, like, I guess, range of titles to search for, so it'll help with some of the job searching, so there's a bigger pool for me to pull from or just apply to. I think I have to apply for jobs I definitely don't want just because it's a numbers game, and then hope I get lucky with the one ones that I do, because if I apply for only the ones that I do and I never hear back, right, then I'm not applying for enough jobs. It's literally just a numbers game. You know, it feels like I watched a video one time, and it was, I don't know if it was just a joke video or something. It was talking about young guys on Tinder and how they use Tinder. And there was a few videos of them literally not even looking, but just rapid fire swiping, because they were saying it's a numbers game. So if they just try to match with every single woman, eventually some of them will talk to them, and then they might get lucky. So they were just like literally. And I'm thinking, is that what job searching is now? It feels like that's what it is, right? You have to wade through jobs that don't actually exist, ghost jobs, because companies post those so they get government kickbacks. So there's companies that post jobs that don't exist. There's also companies that post jobs that don't exist yet, so because they're trying to build their database of people. And then you have to get past all the AI. So how do you get past that, right? Like hiding keyword. I've been told to hide keywords in my resume cover letter, right? On my resume and in my cover letter, like in the margins or in the footers, make them white and as small text as possible. The computer will still see them, but the humans won't. I've been told to do stuff like that. And that's like weird to me, except the whole system works based on tags, right? So you might as well just put a tag section in the bottom of your resume, which is what I thought the technical section of your resume was for, to tag and list all of the software that you're proficient with. I don't know. So I can't figure out exactly what jobs are available to me with my skill set as a systems analyst and a business intelligence engineer. I don't want to do BI. I'll do it if I have to. I prefer to go back into solutions architecture or like that kind of thing. But I'm really kind of feeling like I need to leave tech entirely. There's ageism in tech, there's sexism in tech, and I'm a 48-year-old woman with 20 years of experience that suddenly finds herself in a position where I'm overqualified for a lot of stuff and not qualified for others. I stayed at my current job too long for tech. So advice to any young people who are in tech: don't stay for more than 3 years. You're just doing yourself a disservice. Companies don't change their technology that frequently, and technology changes a lot. And if you don't have experience with different softwares, you're just doing yourself a disservice. Nobody wants expertise anymore. They just want somebody there for the short term, right? So I would say 2 to 3 years is as long as you should stay in a position now in tech, at most. So I basically screwed myself, but oh well, we'll figure it out. So I haven't figured out what kind of jobs I'm going to do yet. If you have suggestions, let me know. I'm definitely not feeling good about this right now, and I'm second guessing myself, and I'm having a little bit of a crisis of identity at the moment. My health is not good. I have a lot of stomach pains. I'm not sleeping. It's not been good, but I have to believe that there is a job out there for me. I phoned my mom, and I'm not a religious person anymore. I'm an atheist, right? I phoned my mom, who's a Christian, and I said, Mom, if you feel like praying, now's the time to pray. Pray that there's a job out there for me, that I don't have to sleep in my car. So she's on it. We'll see. Anyway, that's my update. I haven't been doing any walking because I spend my lunch times applying for jobs, and most of my evenings too. I don't know. I'm still eating kind of healthfully though. I'm eating a big salad each of my work days, and so the weight's not being put back on anyway, but I feel like it's stalled as far as my size goes. My fat is still loosening up. That's not stopping. So I am mostly in a calorie deficit a lot of times now. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to talk about for today. This video actually took 4 or 5 takes, so I don't know how coherent it is. If it's not coherent, I will just re-record it tomorrow. Anyway, hope to upload more in the coming days and weeks. I do have a whole list of topics I'd like to discuss. But I kind of got to get through this job thing. And I really don't want to live in my car or like sleep in it even one night. I don't, it's not safe. But my work doesn't give a shit. Good night.